You're a grand old flag. You're a high-flying flag.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
America.
birthday. Happy birthday to you.
US of A.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, to finalize the Hall of Fame of the Constitution and the Declaration, who were the 2, 3, or 4, or 5, just by name, that you can, any of us think, Patty, are most instrumental in having the foresight for the Constitution after the Declaration? Who would they be?
Well, before we jump to that, let me finish up what I was saying in the last segment. I was saying I believe the person who had the greatest effect on modern history, the hand that did more to create the world that we now live in than anybody else, I believe, is George Washington.
Hmm.
And and some of that was, Forrest Gump kind of stumbling around.
Yeah,
He did
yeah.
accidentally start the 7 Years' War. A lot of people call that World War Zero because it really did change the order of things up until the Great War, World War One. But he also, in that act, inadvertently created the Revolutionary period, which led up to the Revolutionary War / War of Independence, and created the nation kind of by accident.
Okay.
But as a military commander, and more so as a political figure, his grasp on reality really guided the new nation in very positive directions, and nobody can deny the effect the United States has had on modern history. We've dominated it.
Well, it's just very interesting to me, reflecting and looking back, how a bunch of people, men, they did not have a woman involved at the time, to the best of my knowledge, how a bunch of men can have the foresight to learn from the negativity of the past to turn it around to become a positive, the lemons and the lemonade effect, so that the Declaration and therefore the Articles and therefore the Constitution would become literally the foundation of what today is the greatest nation in the world. No, we're not perfect, but we are the best because of what we have, that foundation. We can do and say almost anything within reason, and not be confined to having to pay a price for it in this country. Whereas in most of the other countries, you would not necessarily have that privilege. Would you agree, Cindy and Patty?
I think it's
On
the
the
great.
whole,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's the greatest thing. Go ahead, Patty.
On the whole, I agree with you, Ralph. The Revolutionary period, the Founding Fathers, they were not simple black and white, two-dimensional figures. They were very three-dimensional with their incredible flaws. And by the way, you sort of discounted women.
Not intentionally.
The love between John and Abigail Adams. Abigail had a lot of influence in the Revolutionary period and the Articles of Confederation era and the Constitutional era, and their love story.
Yeah, their love story. And the other one, too, is Madison. Dolly Madison,
Yeah, that
too.
was just say,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, but the question
story
is,
of his.
was there a love affair with Dolly Madison and the vice president and then President Madison?
Yeah.
As was with Adams?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
But she was brilliant.
Dolly Madison was in all hands, all feet in. She was totally in.
Very courageous woman.
Yeah, she was. So, I mean, to discount, women didn't have the notoriety of it.
In the forefront.
Right, but they had the background of it.
Well,
they
that
totally
goes
had the
back
background of it.
That goes back to what's behind every successful man.
Right, yeah.
A wonderful woman.
Right, yeah. Because you got to have a sounding board and you got to have different input.
It's just,
as well.
I'm so impressed, and now the problem. I only have a problem relating to like what's happening with the Supreme Court and how they interpret things nowadays. And I always keep thinking to myself, if these interpretations of 2026 could, by time machine, go back to the founding fathers, what would they say? What would Jefferson, Madison, Adams, Franklin, Washington, what would they say? How would they react? You know, I'm very scholarly interested. We have a 2026 year currently, and we have a very divided Supreme Court, which is interpreting the Constitution and the amendments and so on. And I'm just wondering if we can take a time machine today and go back 250 years, or maybe 252 years back. How would Washington, Franklin, Adams, Madison, I forgot who else I named before, how would they react? What would they respond? Because they may have been a lot of things, but they were brilliant, scholarly men.
Absolutely, yeah.
In my opinion.
The well-bred and the well-fed.
I like that. But you see where I'm coming from?
I'm not sure at what point I had dropped off, but I was saying that the founders were very three-dimensional men, and they were an ideologically diverse group of men. Like anybody who tells you, who implies in any way that founding fathers were monolithic in their thinking.
No,
they're
No
absolutely wrong. Like
Yeah,
they were name any issue and they were divided on it, which is part of how we got the Constitution that we got. Like people sometimes ask, how did they have the foresight to see 200 years into the future? And when they're writing this document, they didn't need to have that. They had a practical understanding of humanity. And so we got things like the division of power in government.
Yes.
The separation of power in government.
Check
because they knew humans. they
the
knew
weaknesses of women.
They knew our strengths, they knew our weaknesses, and they put together a governing document that was a very realistic look at human beings. And it's really unusual in the history of revolutions. The vast majority of time, when you have a revolution, it is usually justified. Revolutions are usually justified by the conditions that the revolutionaries were dealing with. The problem is, once they get into power, they just become the old.
Right.
They just,
they forget.
Yes.
They replace one authoritarianism with another authoritarianism. And what makes the U.S. Revolution, I won't say unique, but unusually successful, is those men understood, oh, now that we have power, what do we do with it? Oh, I know, separate it. Split that power up so we don't end up replacing King George, who really was not that bad to king, but we don't end up replacing, one monarchy with a parliament with another monarchy.
Ironically, King George and George Washington. Do you realize what you're saying?
Yeah.
We could have ended up with another King George.
But let me ask you about George Washington. Was he a charismatic person from what you... Well, I think he was.
Yeah, he was. And the other thing, he had a lot of humility. He didn't want to be King George.
No.
He didn't want to be King George. So there's your answer to that.
George Washington was a very complex man. And he had some of the worst of faults, but he also had some of the best of virtues as well. And maybe that's why he was such an effective leader, is that he was even if not yet ready to correct all of his faults, he was at least aware that he had them, like he could see within himself. I think we are very fortunate that we had Washington. My understanding is, conversationally speaking, he was not that charismatic of a man, but he was a very large and imposing man for his time, and he was very unsubtle about how he signaled his wants. For example, back in 1775, the Second Continental Congress passed the resolution for the causes of, and justification for going to war with the British military, and wouldn't you know, George Washington showed up to the meetings wearing his military uniform, like
here I am.
I would like to be the general when we get a Continental Army.
So he may have had a little bit of a ego. Let's just leave it an ego.
He could be flamboyant, but he conversationally, my understanding is conversationally, he was a more reserved man. But the old saying, be careful of the quiet ones. He was quiet, but he was very good at getting across what he wanted.
But he
was
a leader.
Very often got it.
Yeah, but he was a leader. That's the point. And he wasn't afraid to take the
was.
chance of leading. We're going to take the last break, everybody. Let's continue this. I'm just immersed in this thing. I'm so in love with this concept of how great we are. And forget about the fact how great we could be. Let's face reality. There's no utopia. We're human beings. We're going to screw up. But let's have fun doing it legally. We'll be right back, everybody. Our Veterans Voice Radio, happy birthday, 250 to the United States of America.
I'm Dr. Tim Ioannidis at Treasure Coast Dermatology. At Treasure Coast Dermatology, we believe in the prevention and early detection of skin cancer. We are medical doctors, and we focus on the medical aspects of dermatology. You don't need a sales pitch for Botox, collagen, or wrinkle creams. You need a doctor that cares about you and the health of your skin. We feel by not trying to do too much, we can do more for our patients.
Call toll-free 877-870-DERM. That's 877-870-3376.
Meet Norma Howell, patient of Florida Eye Institute.
My sight to me is top priority, because you lose your sight, you lose all of your independence. And so with me, it was scary. After meeting Dr. Shoemate, I had a joy. I knew I was going to be okay. My life is just 100+%.
Are you ready to experience truly exceptional patient care? Florida Eye Institute.
Hey, did you hear the latest about our Florida Highwomen?
No, what?
There's a Highwomen Art Gallery in Vero Beach.
Really? Where?
1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, when's it open?
7 days a week. Call 954-557-6226 for an appointment anytime.
No kidding?
Just call for your appointment, 954-557-6226, and then go to 1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, that's good news.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
250th birthday.
So everybody, what are you going to do for Independence Day, 4th of July? Other than before 3 o'clock, going to 1872 Commerce Avenue and enjoy the, literally, the landscape art of the Highwomen in the Treasure Coast. But are you going to have picnic, barbecue, rides, parades, fireworks, music, orchestras, bands, the pops? What are you going to do? Are you going to be with your family and your friends? It's going to be hot, so make sure you wear sunscreen. Make sure you wear hats and hydrate, not necessarily with alcohol, but hydrate, because you can dehydrate very quickly, and that's like deflating a tire, and you cannot drive on a flat tire. Would you agree, Patty and Cindy?
Yeah, I'm going to D.C. I'm in D.C. when this airs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going to Washington, D.C., yeah.
When are you going?
I would have, so this airs July 4th. I will be there the 2nd. So for the
Thursday.
real birthday. Yeah.
Ah.
There you go.
I can't wait. Hey, when you come back, can you bring some stuff with you? And let's do at least a half an hour show. You telling us about that kind of domestic fair that we're doing with the different states and the territories.
What does that mean? The state fair? Oh, the state fair.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
Yeah.
from you. I wish I could go there with you.
Yeah, I'm totally excited. I've heard a lot of really good stuff. The Ferris wheel is free. I'm going on that. Yeah.
Okay,
Take some
everybody, do you
pictures.
know, when did the Ferris wheel get introduced in the United States?
Oh, like 18 something. It was in the
Yes.
Chicago Fair.
1892, 93, the
Okay.
Columbian Exposition, and which what became Navy Pier when I went to the first year University of Illinois school, college, university. Anyway, Patty, what's your thought about then and now? And I'm not talking about the revolution, the industrial communication, medical, all that. Just people-wise, we're not the same people that they were. We're bigger, we're stronger, we live longer, and we have at our disposal things that I don't even think that as brilliant as our founding fathers were, I don't think they could even envision. Excuse me.
If I could go back in time and talk to founders, I would tell them, on the whole, you would be very proud of us. One reason I would say that they would be proud of us is we have our very sharp disagreements, and people get out in the streets and they protest. And I was just talking to my daughter, and I said, you may not like what protesters are saying sometimes, but if they are protesting something that the government is doing or proposing to do, you should love those protesters. Even if you hate what they're saying and disagree with them, that is the essence of America, getting off your butt, getting out there and telling the government, this is my point of view.
And that's what the colonists did with the British.
Right, yeah.
And if all of us do that, then the government has the basis
Obligation.
of information to make good decisions.
Correct.
That ultimately help everybody. And if I could go back in time and talk to a founder, the very first thing I would say to any one of them is, you'll be happy to know we still have very vibrant protests. And I think they would smile the moment I said that.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Cindy and Patty. Would you think that 255 years ago, the Founding Fathers' intentions were the same as intentions of our political leaders today? Or were they more innocent and more legitimate? And I don't mean legitimate from the illegal point of view. In other words, what's our political system today like as compared to then? Are we better, the same, or worse? Do we still feel that what's best for the nation is what's best for everybody? Or is it everybody for themselves and to hell with the mass? What's your opinion, the two of you?
I think it's the same. I think it just depends on, they weren't perfect back then. They had their fights, their squabbles. I mentioned Dolly Madison before only because she's one of my heroes.
Yes.
Dolly Madison came up with the idea, and, don't take this the wrong way, of like a happy hour at the White House because they literally were beating each other up outside going, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And she did it to kind of to calm down all this mess. So are we still having that today? We are, but at the end of the day, we're human beings, and the good works part of it is that you should listen to the other guy and tough it out, fight it out.
And we, by the
Not
way,
physically, but I mean, that's what and we're allowed to do that.
But this legislative session in Washington, you had exactly that. You had a couple of situations.
Yeah.
You said, let's go outside and beat the daylight out of each other.
Right.
But I do agree with you, both of you, from the perspective that we don't have to like what we hear.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we have to respect the fact that we want them to respect our feelings and opinions They don't have to agree with them. But that's what the basis, I think, is part of the foundation of what this country is all about.
Yeah, we get to say it.
Yeah. And as long as you follow within the legal guidelines
Right.
and the confines of the law,
Yeah.
you can do and say almost anything without infringing on others. And perhaps if there's enough of us or you or whoever that will speak up, sometimes good changes take place. What would you say, Patty?
Good changes are taking place all the time. All
Yes.
the time. America is a the word I'm going to use is progressive, and I don't mean that in a political sense.
Yes.
But we're a progressive institution. We are always taking the next step and the next step and the step after that. And I think we've had a good run of 250 years, and I think the founders would, on the whole, be proud of what we have accomplished.
That's wonderful to hear that. It really is. I hope everybody out there feels the same. I'm just nostalgic. I keep wishing that I could in some way go back those 250 years and by the way, bring deodorant sticks with me. Remember, we don't realize what these people, what they had to suffer with.
Yeah.
You know, we got, whether it's New York, Chicago, or wherever, or Florida, you got 90, 100 degree weather, no air conditioning, no fans, no ice, no communication. If you wanted to communicate with another village or city, no telegraph. We are very, very fortunate nowadays.
Well,
We're
they didn't
spoiled and I love it.
Yeah, but they didn't know a lot of that either. I mean, that was the context of what they knew.
Well, that's the same with us. Well,
Yeah, we don't
didn't
know
we
what's-
live through, what was it like without FedEx, without Amazon,
Right.
Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
so,
question.
Patty says it's progressive. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree with them. Anyway, I think that it's about time that we say to all of you, what's the message, Cindy? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Everybody join in.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
To the United States of America. United. The word united. God bless America. And God bless our veterans and our honor roll.
Ames Jim R. Thompson, Navy, Korea.
John Clinton Carroll, Army, Vietnam.
Norman Ellis Godfrey, Navy, World War II.
James Curry, Air Force.
Dr. Richard Allen Kupcho, first responder.
Russell Warren Hogan, Army.
Michael de Blasio, Marine Corps, Vietnam.
Dr. Andre Mauricio Candela, first responder.
Mark Jacobson, Florida National Guard.
William P. Collins, Army.
And all of our other fallen heroes. They are our family. Thank you for your service, especially considering this is 250th year of the birth of our nation. We proudly salute you. Rest in peace with our best wishes, and thank you for your sacrifice. Rest in peace forever.